Your due diligence period is way more than just your inspection. So you need to think about every facet of your house that you're about to buy and make sure you've researched and looked into it. And here are the 10 top things that you need to do during your due diligence to make sure that your house is exactly as you hoped it would be. Hi, I'm Nikki Duran, the rock climbing realtor, helping you climb the mountain of home ownership. And today we're talking about your due diligence period or your inspection. So your inspection period is more than just the inspection. So this due diligence involves a lot of different things. And in that, we're going to talk about the top 10 things that you need to be thinking about during your inspection/due diligence period to make sure the house is exactly as you'd hoped. If you're buying in an HOA, then the HOA documents, or CC&Rs, are one of the most important pieces of information that you're going to get during your due diligence period. So you have 5 days to review the documents once you get them. And once you get them, you're going to want to comb through each page. Now, they're sent digitally these days, but there is hundreds of pages. So you want to take your time to really review all of the rules and regulations. Now, that section, rules and regulations, is the part that you should definitely go to first. That's going to affect every single person living in the HOA. So whether you can put your garbage cans out the night before, or what color you can paint your house, or how long you can leave a car on the street, or if you can leave it on overnight or park in the driveway. Each HOA has all different kinds of rules, and in the rules and regs, it will go through exactly what this HOA does. But besides the rules and regs, you'll also want to look at the budget. How much money does the HOA have in reserve? Are they planning any long-term or major projects in the HOA? Things like that will be reviewed in the budget section. You'll also want to look into all the other facets of the HOA and how it's organized. So once you review it once, you're good to go. You're probably going to remember most of the things that's going to affect you with the rules and regulations and make sure the budget looks okay. And if you're okay with all that, you can sign off on it and you're moving on to the next step. Do you have school-aged children? Well, then you know how important it is to verify the school information. So check on the school zoning. Clark County School District has a website set up where you can put your future address into the computer and make sure you know exactly what middle school or high school or elementary school is in your new neighborhood, and make sure it's where you expected it. A lot of times school zoning can change from year to year. So even if you're familiar with it before and you knew where the lines were, make sure you double check it for your future home just to make sure it's exactly what you expected and it's the right school for your kids. Now, once you're under escrow, your title company is going to go ahead and send you a preliminary title report. And this will tell you if there's any liens or red flags or any encumbrances on the title itself. Now, if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to the escrow officer and they'll be able to tell you exactly what that means and what it means for you. Now, if the house that you're interested in maybe has had some additions or changes over the years, and maybe it's been fixed up a little bit, or maybe it's completely redone, you'll want to verify the building permits. So you can do a lot of that online, or you can go to the building department here in Clark County and check those things out, because you want to make sure things were done properly, they were inspected, and they got the proper building permits for it. Are you moving to a new part of town or a new street or new neighborhood, and you're not exactly sure what's been going on in that street as far as crime? Then crime mapping is a perfect resource for you. Plug in your future address right there in the internet, crimemapping.com, and check it out. Little pins will pop up in your area and you can scroll out as far as you want, and you can see if there's been any burglaries, any robberies, car thefts, vandalism, noise disturbances, anything like that. That will be on crime mapping, and you'll be able to see what your future location looks like as far as that goes. Are you buying a place that's near an open space or backs up to some empty lots? Well, verifying zoning might be a good idea for you, because then you can find out what's the future going to hold for that place that maybe you have a great view, but it's an empty lot. Maybe you're wondering, are they going to be able to build in it? What kind of building will go on there? Then verifying the zoning is important to you. So if you're not in a tight little neighborhood and you have some open space around you and you're wondering what's going on, then go to the zoning department and check it out. Now, the next one you're going to look into is your insurance. So you'll want to order a comprehensive loss underwriting exchange or clue report. They call them clue reports, and it just says what kind of claims have been on the future house. So if there's been any major things happening to your house, you want to know about it, because that could affect your price that you pay for your insurance, and it could also affect if you can get insurance at all. So you'll definitely want to check with your insurance person and get some quotes, because you'll need to have that for closing anyways. Find out during your inspection or due diligence period, and that's an important one just to give you peace of mind. During your due diligence, you might also want to check out the historical data for your utilities, just to have an idea of what your bills may look like. So if you go to Southwest Gas, Nevada Energy, and the Las Vegas Water District, you can tell them your future home address and try to find out a little bit more information on what the current homeowners have been paying. Now, sometimes they'll give you an average monthly cost, and sometimes they'll give you a yearly cost going back a year or a few months. Whatever they give you, that gives you good knowledge to know exactly what to expect for your future utilities. Now, I have to give you one caveat, because you don't really know exactly how warm or how cool they keep their house, which will affect, of course, their utility bills. So if somebody likes to keep it like a freezer, 60 degrees in the summer, or if they keep it real warm at 80 degrees, obviously their utility bill will reflect that. So take it with a grain of salt. It could be really high, and then you move in and it could be lower because you keep it warmer, or vice versa. It could be really low and you like to keep it a little cooler. So that information is good to know, but take it with a grain of salt unless you have a little more information from the seller to find out exactly how they keep it, to give yourself a guide. And if they want to share that information with you, that can help you make a better determination. But either way, historical data can always be helpful. Now, we've been through our top 9 things that almost everybody needs to look into when investigating their house during their due diligence. So if you've put on your Sherlock Holmes hat and you've gone through all of the 9 that we've just talked about, the number 10 is more uncommon inspections. So there might be different inspections that not everybody will need to have, but could be applicable to you. And we're going to go through these uncommon inspections right now. So if during your regular home inspection, your inspector says that they've seen remnants of rats or pigeons or scorpions or black widows or any kind of pests like that that might be very concerning to you, you might want to go one step further and get a pest company or a pigeon company or a rat company to come out and do an extra test to make sure there's no infestations or something more that you need to look at. So a pest inspection could be some additional step that you might need to take after your regular inspection if there's any information that leads you to think that there might be a problem in your house. Now, one thing that is not all that common, but is still fairly common where you see it quite a bit on the larger lots or a little bit more rural property in Las Vegas, or maybe a little bit older homes, are wells. Getting your water from the well might require additional inspections according to your lender. Certain loans will require that. But even if they don't require that, you might want to check into it a little further. So there's 2 different parts of a well water inspection. So one's actually the well water quality. So what is the quality? How clean is it? What kind of minerals are coming out in that water? You might want to check for that. The other is mechanical. So the well has a pump. So you'll want to make sure that that's operating and how that operates, and make sure the well mechanically is sound. So those are 2 inspections you may be required to take and you may opt to take depending on your loan. In addition to wells, on many of those same properties will be septic. So if you have a septic tank at your property, you'll want to do a septic tank inspection. Again, the lender might require this on certain loans, and other times it's not required, depends on your loan. Talk to your lender about that. So the septic tank inspection would be the septic tank itself that has to be uncovered and opened up. So that's something you got to make sure that your seller knows where it is and has access to be able to get the cover off. I've seen many times that people have built right over the septic tank opening, and they had a really hard time. They built a pond over it in one instance, and they had to dig up the whole pond and remove the pond to get to the entrance. They had never ever checked it. So once we found out that they built over it, we knew that they probably never had that cleaned out or dumped. And that needs to be done every 5 years to 7 years, depends on how many people live in your house. So checking that out and knowing a little bit more about that is really important if you're buying a house with a septic tank. the inspection includes cleaning the entire septic tank out. They'll do a full pump, and they'll make sure that it works properly by filling it back with water and seeing if it goes out through the leach field. So a septic tank inspection is very important. I've done a lot of those here in Las Vegas on larger properties, and I think it's something you really want to make sure works properly, because trying to switch over to city sewer or to get a new septic tank is very expensive. So definitely get your septic tank inspected. Well, now you know the top 10 things that you need to do during your due diligence period, and it's way more than just your home inspection. But if you do it right, you're going to know everything there is to know about your new home, and you're going to live happily ever after. I'm Nikki Duran, the Rock Climbing Realtor, helping you climb the mountain of home ownership, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Home Sweet Home Las Vegas channel. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos or playlists. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We're doing lots of different videos on real estate pricing and neighborhoods in Las Vegas, and also staging transformations, things for sellers when you go to sell your home, and also all kinds of Live Beyond the Strip shorts that tell you all the fun and cool things to do to get the most out of living in Las Vegas.